What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another MD Fish Tanks build video. Now, I'm sure you've all experienced this, but you know when you're sometimes out of the shop and you see a fish and you're just like, I've got to have it. Well, that happened, and luckily enough, I've got tons of tanks available. Let me show you what happened. So I've just walked into the shop, Willowbrook Aquatics. You guys know the shop, I come here quite a lot. And they got this awesome candy cane koi fighter, and I can't not buy it. Look at it, it's awesome. If it focuses. So I've already got one Betta, this will be the second Betta, but then I've got, as you guys know, tons and tons of tanks available, and he's going to look great as the centerpiece in one of them. So we're back at the studio now. Currently I've just placed the Betta fish in this little tank down here that I've got on the side. It's been on the side there for several months now. The water gets changed regularly because I keep plants in it, so there's like quite a lot of beneficial bacteria all over it. He will be absolutely fine in there for a few hours whilst we just set up a new tank for him. And to be honest, I've got just the one in mind. Now, it's still going to be a temporary tank because I want to do something absolutely awesome for this fish. I mean, it's very special looking. It needs a special tank, right? In the meantime, we're just going to do a cool temporary setup. Let me show you the one I've got in mind. Right, so currently we've got Mike in here. Mike? Well, there he is. Hello, Mike. It's quite dark because look at his plants on the top, completely overgrown, and those red root floaters at the back there are actually coming right out the water. They look insane. I mean, it's quite dark, but he seems to really like it, and I think that does suit a Betta fish, to be honest. So yeah, Mike's doing absolutely fantastically well. So next to him, this is one of the Ikebana sort of setups I did ages ago. It's got loads of really good healthy plants in it. I haven't changed that water now in so long, but the plants are doing amazing. Even at the back there's some Rotala HRAR as well. Anyway, this incredibly ugly tank you can see here, I want that to be his, but I want to change it. I want to redo it. But the filter's been running for like 4 or 5 months, no more, even longer than that now. So it's fully mature, established, you know. But the reason this looks so horrendous and I haven't done anything now is because I just wanted to leave it for a long period of time and see if the algae sorted itself out. Now, I haven't dosed it, and you can see I haven't even added the water into it. It's just been left, and the algae isn't sorting itself out. So there's a lesson there. Don't just leave stuff. You've got to do things to create a balance. Sometimes you can do too much. I need to take all this stuff out. I want to start again. I want to do a cool little triangular composition scape that's just going to really show them off in the meantime whilst I'm setting up something else. Click subscribe. Right, tank's off. Down there, I've taken all the plants out. Now, this is really interesting because you know how much of a mess it looked? I've cleaned the plants off. They are insanely healthy. I mean, look at the reds or pinks or purple, whatever, coming off the Rotala HRAR. That's red root floaters there, so red. And then we've got dwarf hairgrass, again, doing really, really well with some S repens behind it. All of the different Rotalas are just growing great at the ends, not at the bottom, obviously. There's no leaves on there, but that's normal, where there's no low light. And look at the Altanamphora. It is just so vibrant. I'm using these again. They're absolutely brilliant. I'm confused because it looked like everything was dead because it had that weird green stuff that I thought was algae, but maybe it wasn't. You guys ever seen it before? Let me know in the comments if you've seen that kind of algae, or maybe it wasn't algae, maybe it was dead algae. I don't even know. Tank set up, lights on. First thing we need is a little base layer of sort of crushed lava rock or some gravel, whatever you've got really, just to stop any sand compacting, as always. Right, that's a good start, but I'm just going to leave it as it is at the moment, just whilst we go into the other room and select some hardscape. Again, I've got no idea what I'm going to do. I'm not thinking too much about it, as I know it's only really temporary, but I still want it to look good, you know? I definitely want to use the, where is it, manzanita wood, this stuff here. It's like small pieces. I think that'll work well in that small scape, but I'm not entirely sure what rock. Now, I want harsh rock. I want harsh angles. Sirius stone does give that, but I've got some nice big pieces of elderstone here, and I think there's some smaller pieces underneath. Those will go really well. I'll try those, see if we've got the right bits. If not, maybe we can use this fossilized wood stone. That'll look really, really cool as well. I'm not sure yet. Which one? They both complement the sand, so that's okay. They'll look good against that sand. Let's just put some in and see, yeah? Right, there we go. Like I said, I'm not spending ages on it, but it looks tidy, doesn't it? It'll be a nice open swim area, but then I'll be able to create a nice, thick, sort of jungly area as well for the betta fish to hide. Right, there we go. Nothing complicated. Now notice there's a gap there. Obviously that's the stem plants can grow into that area. Now if I fill this up with water now, every single one of those sticks will just float to the top. So I have got super glue gel, cyanoacrylate. I don't know how to say that ever, but it's completely fish safe, so don't worry about that. As soon as water touches it, it sort of goes hard and inert, so we're all good with that. But just choose a few strategic points. So like, for instance, where that wood's touching that bit of rock there, and then that bit of wood touching that bit of wood, you know, and just glue it all so it stays down. Nothing worse than when you fill up with water, it all floats to the top. So wood and stones in. Now I can fill up that back area as well with more sand, just so that we can make sure we've got enough like depth for planting in. At the moment there's just a bit of gravel and the plants will just float up. So sand goes in there. Okay, sweet. So I think this is going to be one of those scapes where it's easy just to fill it up and then add plants afterwards. So we're filled up. Now if you're wondering how I keep the water so sort of clear when I'm doing that, that actually took about 20 minutes to fill up. It was very, very slow, and that way you just don't get everything kicked up everywhere. But so I've left a gap. So I've left a gap at the top so the water doesn't overflow when you're planting, obviously. But what I quite like to do nowadays is take plants and attach little weights to them and bury the weights into the sand just to stop everything floating up. I think I'm going to do that in this one. Like I say, it's not going to be a long-term scape, and I don't want to be fiddling around putting stuff in and out. Just get a load of bunches of stems and cram them in that corner. Wow, so the colours are actually really, really vivid. That's looking great. This light here, I got a long time ago, and I can't even remember what it was called, to be honest, but it's RGB. I think I bought this all as a set together. I think to hide the ceramic rings, I need to plant shorter plants in the foreground. So I'm going to take the third one that I made, which was this one, and just take it out, and then, because these are short stems anyway, and I can plant those in the front then, and you won't actually see those ceramic rings. Okay, scaped. Now it looks a bit misty, that'll clear shortly. Just got to put the filter in now. You'd probably need a heater if you're doing this, but my studio is very warm. The water temperature is already good, so we don't need to worry about that. But yeah, you will need a heater for your Betta if your room temperature is like normal, which is like whatever it is. Click subscribe. So that's the filter on, it'll clear all this in no time. So you can see there, it's actually quite powerful, that little filter. So what I've done is pack it out with tons and tons of filter floss, so it's compact in there, which will stop the water flow, which means that, look, we just got gentle bubbles flowing. I mean, the plants aren't even moving around, so that's how low you can see the flow is, which is perfect, because betta fish don't like a lot of flow, guys. They can handle it, they can go in it, but they don't want it on them all the time. So refuge places and places where there are dead zones are kind of a must, really, with betta fish. They're from little slow flowing streams, you see, so we want to kind of try and simulate that as best we can. So yeah, you can see, look, it's just a little trickle there of bubbles coming out, so not powerful at all. Perfect. So whilst that's clearing, there's another job we can get started on. Now, betta fish jump. I've experienced this myself, so you probably think my betta fish doesn't jump, and I thought that as well until about 3 or 4 months later, he jumped. Anyway, there's three things we can do to stop that. One, cover the whole surface in like floating plants. I mean, that's great, but even that might not be enough. Number 2, a lid goes on, and number 3, drop the water level. Well, it's not a big tank, so I'm not going to drop the water level. I'm going to put a lid on as well. And you can do this in a number of ways. I've used here just like plastic sheet stuff. What's it called? Acrylic, I guess, plexiglass. Anyway, so I've used a thin one of that, and I just split it down the middle so that I had a lid I can open up easy. The rest goes around the lights. And then on this one, look, there's a small gap for the filter as well. I haven't got any more of that stuff, but what I have got is this polycarbonate sort of lid stuff. Oh, that's really hard to see, isn't it? Let me take it away from there. So yeah, I don't know why I've come in here. I've got it on my discus tank as well. But yeah, you can see there, look, it's just plastic. It stays rigid, and it does the job very well. Not when I'm trying to do it one-handed, but there we go. So yeah, I'm just going to use one of those again and just put it on top. What is quite good about it as well is it diffuses the light a little bit, which means that you don't get algae. There's like no algae in this tank and this tank, but there is some algae in the tanks that haven't got it. So that's ideal if you've got a really bright light. And to be honest, when you look at this light versus all the stuff around it, it's a very bright light. Right, okay, moment of truth. I've just cut some little notches as well, ready to slot over the light and the wire for the pump or filter. Oh, are we straight? We are straight, we're good. Perfect, look at that. Okay, so obviously it's not as pretty as the fully open top, but you've got to put the needs, the requirements, and the hazards of the fish first. Well, don't put the hazards first, but you know what I mean. Account for the hazards. And jumping is a real danger. Honestly, you could be lucky for a long time and then one morning come in and find your fish on the floor. Another important note, when you're filling up with water, be sure to add dechlorinator. I did. You probably didn't see it because it was a time lapse, but obviously I've got a beneficial bacteria on my filter already, and you don't really want to be putting in like, you know, chlorine filled tap water all over that. So yeah, remember your water conditioner. So the tank is now completely cleared, and it's time to put in the new betta fish. Come on, little buddy, where are you? Oh, where's he go? Oh, there he is. Okay, see if I can scoop him. There he is, looking good. Oh, come on then, let's put you in. No messing about. So the temperatures, guys, should be completely matching, so let's do this. Oh, he looks great. He looks so good. Oh, wow, 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 wow. That was a really good choice going for the background plants as they are, because his colours match really well. Look at that. He feels completely comfortable straight away. That's great. That's actually the best sort of experience I've had with putting a betta fish in. Usually they go and hide straight away, but this little darling's instantly just, you know, exploring. Even with my big lens in his face. Remember, betta fish are like pretty much completely aware of what's outside the tank, so he knows I'm here. And he's still okay with it, which is cool. God, he's a chilled guy, really chilled. So you can see, look, there's basically no flow coming out of that filter. It is on, that's why the water, you can just see some of the bubbles flicking around. But perfect for the little betta. It's like his own little sort of paradise, I think. And what should happen eventually is these little tufts of hair grass will actually send out shoots and runners, and it should sort of start to carpet. You won't get heavy carpet in because there's no like CO2 and not a huge amount of nutrients, but there's enough for these to spread a little bit, and that'll look really authentic and good, I think. Oh, hello. What an awesome looking fish. He's got really cool markings. The orange, you know, like it's not often you see that in betta fish, it's the orange. So orange, red, purple, and blue. That blue on the head as well. Turn around, let's see your head. There you go, look. He's got funny eyes, I must admit. His eyes are funny, but in a good way. Oh, I'm not bullying, I'm not bullying. So he's doing great. Now, even though the filter has already got like cycled sponges in it, it's really a good idea when you add new fish to add some more beneficial bacteria. So that's what we're going to do now. There we go, a nice big dollop of the beneficial bacteria. Hopefully this betta fish happy in here for the next few weeks or so, just whilst I'm setting up his proper full-on home. I mean, this is a cool home, don't get me wrong, and it will be a home for something else. I already love it, to be fair. I love that green poking through. Yeah, but his new home is going to be something pretty special that I've never seen or done before.